Yeah.
And this one? who thought of this at Gatorade? Who thought of this campaign, man? Fair use.
Around WNBA salaries has gotten so out of hand that we're now seeing the league compared to Formula One, a global sports league that generates over $1 billion a year in TV contracts around the world and has individual sponsors like LVMH that pay $100 million or more. Now, this is obviously a ridiculous comparison for all the reasons I just mentioned and plenty others, but I think it might be helpful to understand what's so challenging about the WNBA negotiation. So for starters, you'll commonly hear that WNBA players don't want to get paid the same as NBA players. They just want to split the same share of revenue. For context, NBA players get around 50% of the annual revenue of the league. They split it with owners, 50-50, while WNBA players only see about 10% of the revenue that the league creates. That sounds like a mismatch, and they should probably increase that. Now, here's the problem with that. The WNBA has never made a profit. That by itself is not a huge problem. Sports teams lose money on an annual basis all the time, and the league will eventually be profitable when its next media rights deal kicks in. The problem is with their cap table. Now, since the WNBA has lost money every year for the last 25 to 30 years, the NBA has funded and covered those losses. It has cost the NBA around $10 million annually. This wasn't a bad deal for the NBA. The NBA was able to package up the WNBA's media rights with their own and sell it as a year-round package to TV broadcasters, since the WNBA takes place during the NBA offseason. It also sort of gave them a call option on women's sports. If it's successful, it's worth billions of dollars. If not, they write off the $10 million as a tax loss. No big deal. Now, the problem is that at that $10 million a year, that financing was not cheap. Additionally, the WNBA raised $75 million from an outside investor group in 2022 that included Nike and other sports owners. As a result of the NBA's cash and that additional investment, the WNBA now only controls about 42% of its revenue stream. The NBA controls 42% as well, and that outside investor group controls the rest. What this means is that out of that $2 billion media rights deal that the WNBA just signed, the league and its players will see less than half of it. That's why getting to 50% revenue share is going to be so challenging. Now, don't get me wrong. WNBA players will see increased salaries. The league is making a lot more money. Attendance has doubled. Viewership is up. They just signed this media rights deal, and they're adding teams. But some players have been talking about $1 million more a year salaries, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, simply because of the cap table that the WNBA has had to put in place because of the losses over the last 25 years.
I think that's a quite good explanation where they are right now. You're on mute.
It's a very clear breakdown, and it's obvious as well, right? It's so obvious that that's the reason. You have to make profits here.
You have to.
In any business, you have to make profit. Without profit, you're running a foundation.
And you can't speed up the process either.
Well, but you can slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
If you put too much, so usually
it's a business, guys. Listen up. He's gonna drop some business knowledge right here.
Usually, and I have a business. I'm speaking out of experience. The first couple of years, you're building. That means the priority as the business owner is to grow the company. You need to run a profitable business, and you need to be able to grow your business. It's only when you start a company, let's say you start an accounting firm. You can't get the best accountant because they're getting paid a bunch of money in the big fours. But what you can get is such an accountant like that who's tired of working in corporate and wants to work in a less stressful environment. But you need to be able to offer that person a good salary. How can you offer someone a salary if your company is in red? How can you offer that person, and how can you increase it if your company is in red? Doesn't make sense. And so
you can, but
feel like
you're
they're just trying to be honest.
If you're financing it with a risk, You could, but then you're financing it with debt,
But
which
it's
is not a
still
good
debt.
idea. Yeah,
Which
it's not
no,
a good idea.
because you need to. Yeah. So a lot of
You're
people I
crashing.
know,
You're selling
KR,
your
how
future.
many, many people come to me with a great idea, and the first step is go to the bank. I always say, but do you have a proof
Bootstrap.
of concept? Have you tried selling it? If you can sell it profitably, then it's a very bad idea to get a loan, because you wouldn't be able to pay it off.
Pay it up, and if your business fails, you're carrying the debt afterwards.
You are.
You
For
have
sure.
you have to bootstrap initially.
Yeah. And so the league is getting more attention. We need to be patient. And
And that's the
any
problem.
other KR, do you know do you know any company that hasn't had a profitable year in 20 years that still exists? So it's definitely
Yeah,
entitled.
the only company that comes in, even though it wasn't 20 years, it was Amazon.
There's a difference, because in Amazon wasn't paying out dividends. He was telling the investors, hold on,
We're gonna
pay it
invest.
up. Just
Continue,
hold on.
Yeah, we're gonna
Because we're
invest.
reinvesting in the company, but the WNBA needs to grow, so you need to keep reinvesting in. And
It's a
But-
conflict of interest, right? Because
yeah,
in a sense, the players only have a career span of like 5 years, so they want that
Yeah.
money now, and the league wants to grow. So you have to find a middle ground in this, and the
Yeah.
more you pay out, I totally agree with you. The more you pay out the players, the less money there is to grow, which results in future players not getting that increase.
but KR, this is also important to take into account, man. And then we can move on, because we have other topics as well.
Yeah.
But you're talking about an increase. Okay.
Revenue. That's the only way you can increase it.
Sometimes you have to. I feel like sometimes, especially when men give advice or give suggestions, it's seen, they label it as mansplaining, and you shouldn't, Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't find the WNBA exciting to watch. As exciting to watch.
No.
So in the sense that I can watch a random game of NBA and I'll like it, but WNBA, I don't have that. However, they did do a very good job marketing Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And of course, then you know Wilson, there's like some players who they just play well. Another person who's also like Kelsey Plum is, for example, another person that she has her own character. You have the OG Diana Taurasi as well. So these are all people who. So you need to let me see, just like in books and movies, character building. What they're doing is they're building character, and that's people go and watch. That's why people watch NBA now more, because they want to see, they're more. In the past, they probably only knew Lisa Leslie and Miller. That's the only two people that they knew, and then a couple more. But what they're doing right now, it's good. And what's also good is that these ladies are also branding themselves, because you have like platforms where you can, Angel Reese has her podcast and twerks and a lot of things. But the point is they are building characters, and that's what people want to see, right? Now Shaq gave a suggestion. He's been given this suggestion. Lower the rim so you can dunk.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more entertaining, but they
You have
refuse to do so. And it's their prerogative. But
Yeah.
hey,
I think that's the you have to. The thing is, RJ, I'm gonna sound crazy by saying this. People will say I'm crazy, but you're trying to copy the men's league. You're not the men's league. You should create your own league, so you're not compared every time with the men's league. You need to. You need
It
to
should be
create
something
your
else.
own. It should be something else, because otherwise people keep comparing you to that league, and you're not differentiating yourself from the NBA, and then people can say, yeah, this is boring. No one is watching this. But before I close, this is the last thing I want to say. They've been working on the endorsements, RJ. Did you see this one?
Yeah.
And this one? Who thought of this at Gatorade? Who thought of this campaign, man? Are they trying to send subliminals? I don't know if that's the right thing to do, Gatorade, but let her cook.